Hello, welcome back to another episode of Musings podcast. I'm your host Google Mildred, and I'm so happy that you've joined me on another Wednesday for another amazing episode. So I'm super down because I meant to record this episode yesterday, but then I couldn't because I was doing something else. And then today I spent my day normally, like how I usually spend my days without my job and stuff, like trying to apply for jobs, blah blah blah, looking for something to do online and stuff. It was fairly good. And then evening came, I had to call my grandmother, and then something happened. I saw this message somebody sent me, and it has just ruined my evening. For somebody to try and give me advice that is not going to help me in the long run because they think they know better than what I am going through, I don't even know how to say it. I put up posts on my WhatsApp and my Instagram and told people to go and follow me on Patreon, pay the $2 or $5 tiers so that you can be able to support my work, because there you're not giving me money for free. You're paying for my work. And do you know how many people subscribed? Nada. None. I'm glad, by the way, now on YouTube we're at 53. As I'm recording this episode, we're at 53 subscribers. Finally, after 1.5 years, we're at 53 subscribers. So grateful. And YouTube was kind enough to tell me, yay, your channel is growing. You're at 50 subscribers. And it's a milestone, no matter how little it is, but it is. But on Patreon, nothing. On YouTube, I've told you this before. I need to get 1,000 subscribers to start monetizing my channel and 4,000 hours of watch hours. How many hours have you watched? Do you even ever finish these episodes? No, not many people do. And I see them because there's a place I can see the analysis. I can see everything the time that people spend, how many minutes people spend watching or listening. And I've told you, if you want to help me, just let it play in the background and do something else. Those 30 minutes, those 20-something minutes, that 50-something, 40-something, they will end so quickly you'll not even realize it. But people do not want to support me. When I'm actually doing something that is going to help me, people do not want to support me. So that thing has just left a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm so pissed. But I'm also like, because you have to understand everybody's point of view, and being an empath means that you have to understand where everybody's coming from and why they're saying what they're saying and why they're doing what they're doing. So I'm trying that, but it also just pissed me off. I'll just get into today's episode. I watched the movie the day before yesterday. So if I don't record it now, it might be much longer before I record it again, and I just want to forget about it. And if you hear noise in the background, my neighbors are watching the World Cup. So yeah, you'll hear some screaming or shouting or the TV talking behind me. It's not me, it's my neighbors. I cannot tell them to shut up. And people are enjoying the World Cup, so it's their prerogative. Bear with me, and I'm really sorry for ranting about my issues. Today's movie was supposed to be watched last year in December, but then I took a break from somewhere in November, or was it just December? I don't know, but I took a break for an entire month or so last year, but it was scheduled for December somewhere because it's sort of a Christmas movie. But then because I took a break, I was not able to put it out. Then I scheduled it for earlier this year, but then I was like, it's a Christmas movie. Why am I watching it this early? So I removed it again from the list. And then I put Ginger. It's a movie that came on Netflix last month. But then, you guys, I started watching that movie, and it was right after I just watched The Polygamist. And The Polygamist is mostly in Zulu. And as I told you, I like watching these African shows in the native tongue that they are acted in, because when you put the audio whatever translation, they sound weird and they don't give you the same impact. They don't have the same oomph that is brought out by the original audio. So I was reading so much, and I do not like reading subtitles, by the way, but I was reading on The Polygamist, so I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that again. I started watching Ginger, and it's, I don't know, whatever language they were using. It's mostly Pidgin English, and then some I don't know what language from Nigeria. So I was like, no. Like I started watching. Believe you me, I watched up to I think minute 15 or 20 and I could not understand what was happening. Ginger, I think it's a good movie. I don't know, but I started watching. I couldn't understand the plot. I was trying to cook while I was watching. I couldn't do that because I had to sit down and read the subtitles. I just did not enjoy it. And there's this woman who kept shouting and doing crazy things. I was like, yeah, I get you. I get you're funny. And I've watched the movies before and I know you're a funny woman, but yeah, no. But I know the plot of it because I'd read this the synopsis, but I was like, yeah, I'm not watching it. So I canceled it and I don't think I'm going to watch Ginger ever. So I'm going to be doing a different movie. I decided to watch that movie I'd cancelled before because I'd slotted other movies for the next Naija days. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I'd have watched this movie because it was something I was supposed to watch last year. So let's get into it. On today's episode, I'm going to be giving a review of the Nigerian movie A Naija Christmas. A Naija Christmas is a 2021 Nigerian rom-com written by Kemi Adesoye, directed by Kunle Afolayan, and produced by, is it Seun or Shun or I don't know, Seun, Soyinka, Segun Akintunde, and Kunle Afolayan. The cast members include Kunle Remy, he plays Ugo, Effa Iwara plays Obi, Abayomi Alvin plays Chike, Rachel Loniga plays Madam Agatha. By the way, may she rest in peace. She died the same year the movie came out. That was on July 30th, 2021. Continue resting in peace, Madam Rachel Loninga. Segilola Ogidan plays Ajike. Linda Osifo plays Vera. Uzwamaka Power plays Casey. Mercy Johnson plays Mrs. Bliss, aka Sammy. Jude Chukuka plays Professor Zeb. Carol King plays Deaconess Fakorede. Latif Adedimeji plays Tony Torpedo, amongst other cast members. Now, if you love spoilers like me, continue with this, continue listening to this, continue watching this. If you do not like spoilers, please leave, go to Netflix, watch the movie A Naija Christmas, then come back here, tell me if you agree with me or not, because this is official spoiler alert. This movie was funny, yes, and I don't know, but it reminded me of a Soweto love story. Actually, a Soweto love story is like a South African production of A Naija Christmas. I think they got their idea from A Naija Christmas because A Naija Christmas came out before a Soweto love story from South Africa, which came in 2024. A Naija Christmas came in 2021. They have the same plot. A mother who has these three sons who are not yet married, and she's trying to get them married, and she decides to tell them that whoever marries first is going to inherit the family home. And so the boys start doing whatever they did. You remember a Soweto love story. If you did not watch it, go and watch it. If you did not listen to my review of it, go back. I think it came out last year, my review that is. Go and watch it because it was amazing. It was a good movie, and so was this one. So A Naija Christmas starts with, I don't know. I never seem to remember the beginnings of these movies until I'm well into the movie. And then I just find it weird to go back and say, oh, but this is how it started. But anyway, I'll just say what I remember first. So the three boys, that is Ugo, Obi, and Chike. Their mom is Madam Agatha. And the three boys, they support each other. They sort of love each other. But the firstborn, I think, this is where the problem is going to get, because I remember Chike was the last born. Ugo and Obi, I'm going to confuse between the two of them. I'm really going to confuse the names because I do not have Wi-Fi right now. When I watched it and wrote the things I want to talk about down, I just wrote their names. But usually when I'm doing the review, I usually open like the Google page so that when I'm talking about them, I know because I'm seeing the picture and the name. So I know this one was the one who did this one is the one who did this. So I remember their mom and I remember Chike was the last born, but I don't remember between Ugo and Obi who was the first born and who was the second born. And I can't really Google them right now because I do not have Wi-Fi and I do not have like bundles, so I can't go online right now and check quickly and continue with this. So just forgive me about that. Oh my God. I did not even think about that when I was writing it down, because I would have written firstborn on whoever. But anyway, I'll use firstborn and secondborn. Then you'll know the difference. So the secondborn, whoever it is between Obi and Ugo, was in love with this girl called Vera. And so the other guys come and try to help him. He wanted to propose. The way he was dressed, he had glasses and he kept blinking his eyes. I don't know if it was a night issue or it's just something his character does. I don't know. But then he proposed to Vera in front of people. He had organized like a mob to dance and propose to her, and she rejected him flat out. And it was filmed, it was posted online. So the mom is with the other ladies from the church, that is Deaconess Fakorede and Mrs. Bliss and others, and they're talking about whatever. Deaconess Fakorede, she always looked like, those women who like bragging but they're in charge. And she likes putting, her things in front of other people's faces, like, see how well I'm doing and you're not. So she goes like, look at this photo of my grandchild. And people start staring at the photo and they're looking at it, and she starts making jibes at Miss Madam Agatha because her sons are not yet married. Then she says, like, don't worry, my son right now is proposing to his girlfriend. Everything is going to be all right. This woman goes online and Googles it, finds that video that, Vera is rejecting the second born, and she shows it to her and she goes like, this one. You mean this one? So she sees that and she faints. She's rushed to the hospital. The boys are called. They go to the hospital to see their mom. And that's where she tells them that whoever marries first is going. Actually, I don't think she told them at the hospital. Either she told them at the hospital, I think. Or she waited until they were home, one of those. But at the hospital, she was like, they were lying, some of them saying that they are going to bring their person. And it was either the hospital or the home where she told them, like, yeah, whoever brings a wife first is going to inherit this family home. And I think they were at home because they were around a table when the second born was like, yeah, I'm going to talk to Vera, she's going to agree. And I've always imagined myself and my family living here in this family home where I grew up. The firstborn, however, goes like, yeah, no, you're not going to do that because this is going to be my home. I'm the firstborn and I should be entitled to the house. So his plan was, that is the firstborn, his plan was that he had a debt, he owed a debt to Tony Torpedo. And so he was like, when he inherits the family home, he's going to sell it, and that money he'll use it to pay back Tony Torpedo. I don't know what he had used the money for, because he was not a gambler and he was not like a drunkard. He liked to party, yes, but he didn't have like a strong vice. So maybe he got it and bought the instrument because he owned a recording studio, but he also had somebody else who they were working together, like a lady who was like a partner in that business. So I don't know what he had used the money for. He didn't really elaborate. And I've just remembered how the movie began. As I told you, I usually remember after I've already started talking about it. They were in the studio. There's this lady, Ajike, was in the studio. She was recording her demo, that same studio that belongs to the firstborn. And then there are these women who came. Actually, the firstborn came back because she was recording with another guy who was, I think, in charge of the studio when the firstborn was not around. And so he comes back with a woman, and the guy, he sends the guy away, and so he leaves. But Ajike, she hides herself in the recording booth. Later on, there are these women who come and they pour water and alcohol on the machines, and they end up destroying them because apparently the firstborn was a player. So he used to use these women and they had come to seek revenge or something. And so when he goes to hide in the recording booth, he sees Ajike. And so she keeps asking him, like, where, like, my demo, it has just gone like that, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, that's when they first met. The firstborn's first thing he thinks of is to take that partner of his, the business partner, to bring her home to his mom and say that they're going to get married. I think they had wanted a plan, blah, 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 to get married to fool the mom. But the mom called her aside, started talking to her. Moms, she asked her a couple of questions, and yeah, the lady had to leave because there's no way the mom was falling for that nonsense. On the other hand, the second born is at work. Apparently, she works with Vera in the same place. He had a best friend that is Casey. And Casey had just ended things with her boyfriend. And so she was single and she was telling him that. And he was just thinking about Vera, 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 Vera. Vera was a user apparently because they worked in an advertising company. And this woman used to use the second born's ideas to be able to take them to the boss and not necessarily claim that they were hers, but she used to hide under him. I think it was Obi. Honestly, I think it was Obi. But she used to use him a lot. And I think that way he thought that she was in love with him. So Casey suggests that they start flirting and stuff so that to make her jealous. And she gets jealous. She just becomes something else. But eventually, he realizes that he's in love with the best friend and they end up kissing. When Vera proposes to him marriage in the office, this was later on. And I was like, what? And he just said yes because she had asked and it was in front of people. But later on, he corrected. And yeah, he was like, I'm in love with Casey, not you. So that was very, very good. Anyway, the first one of these problems. After the studio, this guy, Tony Torpedo, he kept coming and taking something from him because he wanted his money. And this boy had told him, oh, don't worry, I'm going to get married. And after I get married, I'm going to inherit the house and a couple of other estates from my mom. And then once I do, I'll sell it and give you the money that I owe you. And so every time he showed up, he would carry something and go with it. So it was first, I don't know what he took first from the studio, and then he came and took all his machines, his computers. He went to his house. He would just appear, and he had this to kono who would carry those things. He went to his home. He took like his fish tank. He took his chairs. He took everything from his house. Actually, left him with just a couch. It was crazy. Every time he came, he took something. The second most best friend, Casey, the boyfriend that she had left, apparently it was Tony Torpedo. So when she kissed the second born and she was feeling some type of way, Tony, who they had broken up, started going like, oh, somebody's going after my girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. He shows up to the second born's place. But the second born was able to, rationalize with him and fight back using words though better than the firstborn was, because I think the firstborn owed him money, so he didn't have a leg to stand on. But the secondborn, it was about a woman, and the woman is a human being, so she's not like she's not his property. He didn't steal anything from him, and so he was able. That's when he knew that the firstborn owed money, and he was able to pay for all that money. And the guy, Tony Torpedo, returned everything to the firstborn, which was dope. Like the secondborn did something good. And then Chike, on the other side, there's this lady, Mrs. Bliss, played by Mercy Johnson. So there's this time his phone rang and it was like Sammy. And the brothers were like, who is Sammy? And then we were shown who Sammy is. I don't know why, but when I saw that circle of women talking at the church, Mercy Johnson stuck out. And I was like, yeah, because she liked their mom so much. I was like, this one must have something to do with one of the boys, or she's going to end up with one of the boys. So one time we are shown Chike with her in a room and they are doing the hanky panky, blah, blah, blah. And then they're talking later on. And he's like, so I know you're married, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? Because him, even when the mom was like, whoever marries first is going to inherit this, he was not into it. He was like, yeah, I do not care. And I don't even remember what job he was doing actually. I don't think we were shown his job. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it was shown, but I do not remember. But so he goes like, okay, I love you, blah, blah, blah. Later on, he tries to go and fight for her. But then when he gets to the house, the husband is the one who opens the door because he had left apparently. And now he had come back. And so the husband goes back into the house because they lied about being there for Madame Agatha. And when the husband went back in, they talked and she was like, yeah, I cannot leave my husband. That cannot happen. So Chike was left alone. But yeah, I think he was going to do okay because he was the last born. He wasn't really young, but being the last born, he was going to make it eventually. But anyway, so while all of this is happening, there was this thing that they wanted to do for Christmas. So the church, Madame Agatha had organized to have like a Christmas party in one of the slums called Mushin. And so the church was going there. This Deacon Fakorede, I didn't like that woman. The way she was carrying herself, it was just bad. And I've seen such women in church. You know them. I'm sure you have seen them. You know them. And they went there. She was, closing her nose and shutting her nose, hiding her nose because she's saying that it stinks, blah, blah, blah. And people were there for vibes. People were showing up. Professor Zeb and the other people, they were there, and the people from the slum, they were like, yeah, we can do this, we can do this. The advertising company that the second born and Vira were working in Casey as well, were working at, they were like, oh, we can provide lighting for that day and cable, blah, blah, blah. And they did. Everybody organized this, and it was an amazing party that was organized, and everybody came there, they had fun. The boys ended up fighting at the party because when the second born went to talk to Tony Torpedo, he met Ajike leaving that place, and she said something to the firstborn. Actually, by that time, the firstborn and Ajike were spending some time together because he went to church with his mom, and Ajike was one of the praise and worship ladies, and he started falling for her, and he kept spending time with her, took her back to the studio to record her demo. He was always with her and wanted to take her out. She punished him one time by telling him to go and spend time with him in the evening. And then when he arrived there, it was Akesha, and he was so pissed. So, like, it was just hectic. So they fought at the party, but anyway, it made sense. It was good. People enjoyed themselves. Children ate. The people from the slum, they ate, they partied, they had fun, and it was good, amazing Christmas carols. Not the foreign ones. Not Akina Silent Night, Akina Sijui, or Come O Ye Faithful. No, 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 no. It was like good Christmas carols written by Nigerians, I believe. And like there's one that Ajike was recording, the demo that she was recording, that song was good. I wish I could remember it, but I just remember how she sang it, and she had a lovely voice. I don't know if she was the one who was singing it or it was somebody else pre-recorded or something, and she was just doing that thing where you lip sync or something. I don't know. But if she was the one who was singing, she did an amazing job. So anyway, at the end, after now they go to the mom's, she had organized now like a private party at home, and everybody comes. And this Deaconess Fakorede tries to cause problems again, saying that, the party in the slum is trending. And then she shows that video of the boys fighting. But I'm so glad that people shut her down so quickly, because they were like, yeah, it was trending because people were so happy from the slum. Everybody's talking about it. They're asking if you're going to do it again next year or something like that. Everybody from the church is happy. Everybody was there. I was actually excited. This woman stood up and she wanted to walk out with one of the other women. And the other woman was like, yeah, no. People tried to tell her to sit down, but she got so offended and she left. Like, she just wanted to start chaos. And I did not like her. She always tried to put Madame Agatha down, and I do not even understand why she was competing with her. It was just chaotic. But anyway, she was just chaotic. But anyway, things worked out well. Because Ajike was upset with the firstborn at that time, the other brothers begged her to come back, and she came and she talked to him, and he apologized, and the mom even tried to go down on her knees to apologize for the son, which I was like, Mama, that is a little bit extra, but okay. But anyway, she ended up forgiving him. And also Casey was present because she had finally spoken to the second born, and they'd agreed to be together. Chike was at that party with another woman that we were never introduced to, so I don't know. But also Sammy, that is Mrs. Bliss, was there as well, but with her husband. So we didn't know about Chike, if he ended up with somebody or not. But at least this firstborn ended up with Ajike, and the secondborn ended up with Casey. So Vera was dumped and she was so upset, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if she was at the party at the last time, at the house. I don't think so. But yeah, that's how the movie was, and that's how it ended. So make sure to go and watch it. It was funny. This Tony Torpedo, he was hilarious. Him showing up everywhere. And I think he was also funny in another show that he did sort of a similar thing. I'm remembering him just appearing like this to the boys, trying to advise them, and I've forgotten which movie it was, but I remember a club scene, a party. Like, I can remember him and what he was doing. He was like a guru, a love guru, in one of the movies that I've watched this year, by the way, not Kitambo. So I've just forgotten what it was, but I have seen him in another movie this year, and he was acting a similar role. So yeah, or maybe it was even in that other one, like a Soweto love story, because these people just move from country to country and they do amazing things. So I don't know, maybe, but I've definitely seen him in a movie that I've reviewed this year. So yeah, go to Netflix and watch it. I loved everything about it. I love their fashion sense. Of course, it's Nigeria. I love how they dress, especially the mamas from the church. They were dressing amazing. The other guys, I didn't like the way the second born was dressing. That this top that he kept wearing, I just didn't like them. I know the African print and I know the African and everything, and I'm supposed to love them, but I didn't like the way he looked. And it's maybe because he kept like wearing like a long sleeve t-shirt inside and then putting that thing on top, which made him just look like he was too stuffy, and I did not like it at all. The lady's makeup was terrible. Ajike's makeup was terrible, especially Vera's makeup. It was bad. Like you could see that this person is caked up. I do not know why they did that. But it was in 2021. Maybe it wasn't like the way it is right now. But that makeup was terrible. You could tell they had makeup. I think the only time I looked at the guy's face and I was like, this face does not have makeup, it was either Chike's face, which was up close, or I think it was the second born's face. There's a moment where the camera was like really, really on his face. That is the only time. But there's another time where I'd seen him and I was like, this guy has makeup on his face. Or was it the firstborn? I don't know. But the makeup they had on this show, it was bad. Even on Madame Agatha at some point, I looked at her and I was like, no, this makeup is terrible. Like very, very bad. But anyway, they did an amazing job. The acting was amazing. The firstborn and Ajike's chemistry was good. Vera and the secondborn I did not like so much because Vera was a terrible woman. But Casey and the secondborn's chemistry I liked. I really did. So yeah, I don't have anything more to say about the movie. It's just, it was funny. Tony Tupido provided the laughs. Ajike provided such an amazing voice, such good music. The mama, Madam Agatha, was funny. Deaconess Fakorede, I hated because she was just a bad Christian. And the people from the slum, they were amazing. And the dancing and the songs in this movie were so unbelievably good that I will definitely watch it again just for that, actually. If by Christmas is still on Netflix and I'm still alive, definitely going to rewatch it. So yeah, go there, watch it, then come back here and tell me if you agree with me or not. Remember to please make your orders. I'm still baking, I'm still cooking. If you want me to come and cook for you, make a meal plan for you, and tell me on my DMs on Mimi's Business Podcast, Instagram, Mimi's Business Podcast, TikTok, and I'll do it for you. Remember to please like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so that whenever I upload something new, you're going to be amongst the first people to come and watch. Okay?